truth that's being opened up to you is doing. That's why your discernment's better, your knowledge of the Word and Spirit, those things that you used to, that God's taken away that you used to feel as truth. Now that you're coming into more truth, those things that you used to believe are being not even part of you no more. In fact, when you start seeing them, they become very ugly to you. Huh? Dog returning to its own vomit. It's not true to you anymore. You see the lion, the fourth beast being part of that lie. Now, the third beast, all doing the same work, building up this. But He's opened the seals. He's pouring out, those seals are being opened up to you so that these beasts are saying, come on, this new creature is saying, come on, look within. Guess what? This is what's, come and see what's happening. This is happening within you. God's doing a work. He's tearing it up. That's why, like Rob said, Rob thought he would try. He says, I never went through stuff like this before, right? It's a whole different thing. Before, our trials were in going to church was condemnation. Because we have felt unworthy. That's not really a trial you're supposed to have. But because your mindset is on condemnation, I'm unworthy, that's a trial. No peace is death and hell. That's hell, when you can't have no peace in that. But didn't the other one say, the other scripture, the writer before that, the other horse said, I didn't come to bring you peace, but a sword. He wants us not to have reliance on our earthly realm. None. He wants us to take it out of us. That's what Christ did. He walked in this realm that's happening. John seeing is what he did. He walked in that. Where he could hear he said, I know my Father. I could know his voice, and I don't hear another. Meaning I don't hear myself. I don't attach to my feelings. I don't attach to my leading, to my senses, to my feelings. Because face it, how many go through emotional swings being in this, especially like recently? What I mean by that is you feel all kinds of weird stuff. Right? Discouragement, maybe a little depression, then that changes into anxiety. And then some of us start eating a lot. Those changes. But God's doing that, bringing them out, because this is taking place, so then you still can have a peace through it. He starts taking them, so then they're taken out of the way. That's why he'll bring those feelings to the top. What happens when gold's really hot? Doesn't all the impurities rise to the top?
Yes.
So it can be scaled off.
Yes.
That's how God trials us, and he'll bring it to light. You might say, man, there's things about Keith. Rob says, man, he just bugs me. When he acts this way.
What?
No, I'm
What? You weren't supposed to say that.
Yeah. I'm just using for an example. Keith's like, what? I'm looking for example. You could say that. And you start seeing them acting away, and you're going, that's not, what is wrong with that? But really, it's God bringing it up. And this is for all of us. It's not just, I just used him for example.
That was a good example.
I see it within myself.
Yeah.
And I see it within myself where I'm starting to learn how to deal with it within myself. To change the thought thing. And Marissa was in our church in California. But she was a babe. She was around people that were well seasoned. So she didn't want to speak, barely sing, do anything. She was like, she came in the first year, she thought Scott was Moses. That's what she did.
You look weird.
You look like Moses.
He has a little thin beard, and so she thought he was Moses, and he almost wanted to put a white robe and say, holy, holy. And wouldn't say, but since she's came here, I've seen an enormous growth in her.
Oh, yeah. She's a little blossom over there.
And even her discernment, her discernment at that time wasn't really good. I could discern, that, but she discerns me now. Even when I try to hide the discernment. She does. She discerns my feelings, what I'm thinking, and I'm like, wow. You didn't do this before.
You're in trouble now.
Yeah, it is.
And God, even in my confession, I look at what God's doing for me, and I see the very thing that sticks out for me is anger. And it's not anger of wanting that, it's just that when things happen, it's like, I could see the anger want to come out in certain things. So I know God's doing a work on me for that. Because other things but something can be carnal. When I see carnality come at somebody or that, I always wanted to take it on. Even the frustration of things that I can see that. And I know that when the thing of anger goes back to other things that cause it. Hurts and stuff like that. So God's doing a work. And He's always bringing it before me more and more. And I'm like, is this what you're telling me? Is one of the last things you got to deal with me? You're really getting into me. He's working on me on this.
You're making me mad.
Yes.
Like, seriously?
And I'm just confessing that's really, the work that this word is doing on me. Because it's pressing. The trials are pressing. I mean, the blood coming out of his head at the prayer, we look at blood, it really wasn't that. It was that blood, that was his thoughts leaving. The blood represented the life, and those thoughts were coming out of his head. He prayed so hard that blood comes out of his head? It represents that. Those thoughts were coming out. And that's his thoughts. Those thoughts and those things that God, and I know that, and that's why I say that, I know that God had us come here and do this and connect with you guys. For coming from other places. For a purpose. And on my dreams, that I had in California, I don't have too many here, but hers and some of yours, I didn't see 6 and 10 and 12 and 30 people like most churches have. You're going to probably see 30 to 40 here next weekend. There. Then they're solid. Some of them are very solid. But I seen here a bigger number than that. So that to me shows me God's going to open some ears here. And He's got a special work for us to do, because it's not the commonplace work that happens in this message. It's not. God's got called out ones, and they come out and they receive, and because you can't give this to somebody. You can't even have a good presentation to make them understand it. It's got to be, this process that's happening in this chapter has got to happen within everybody. So God's going to do a great work here and open some ears. I just seen it.